Hey besties, welcome back to another video. So today for you, I have the makeup look that we're gonna be doing today. So here's what you'll need. You're gonna need a paper towel. I'm gonna go ahead and use a paper plate, and you're also gonna need to find your mama's sewing kit. Now, if your mama's sewing kit don't look like this, it is most likely in a container that's blue and has cookies, and it kind of looks like this. Okay, anyway, so you're gonna go and get your container. We're gonna go ahead and use this one, and I'm just going to pull about an inch, 2 inches, and I'm gonna take my little eyebrow scissors and I'm just gonna cut. Boop. Now, this part is optional. If you have makeup to destroy, go ahead and use that. If not, just get a regular old palette. Well, my husband got me this beautiful Gaga palette from Amazon or something. It looks like this. It has different layers of beautiful colors, and it was kind of hard for me to choose which one I wanted, but I went with purple. Fourth one over. If y'all use the same palette, which you probably won't, but I'm just gonna throw it out there. What I'm gonna do now is I'm going to take one of my little brushes, and it doesn't have to be any brush. It could be like a little scraping tool, it could be a Q-tip, whatever you want. I'm gonna grab my plate, I'm gonna set it down, and I'm just gonna lightly scrape the pigment. Alright, I feel like that should be enough. Okay guys, now that we have this, don't drop it. Now that we have our powder here, we're gonna take a setting spray of your choice. Anyways, I'm gonna take about 2 to 3. Anyways, I'm gonna take the end of the brush and I'm gonna mix it together. Now, depending on if yours is a little more dry, you're more than welcome to add more setting spray until it's about a liquidy consistency. Okay, I'm gonna grab my little string here, and I'm going to dip it in to the little purple mixture. Can you see that? With my finger, I'm just gonna tap it to the mixture, and I'm gonna pick it up. Now, when you put it on your eye, you're going to put it there, you're going to make like a little figure 8, and then you're going to take your paper towel, you're going to smush it against your eye, and you're going to pull upwards. Okay guys, so I'm going to set my eyes, or my base of my eye, with the e.l.f. 16 Hour Camel Concealer in the shade Fair Rose. So today, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna talk about scary stuff that's happened to me. Scary stuff that's happened to me growing up in a house that I lived in, and all that good jazz. So if you're into that kind of stuff, stay tuned. Okay, going in with my 20 powder brush in the Menage is the brand. Yeah, okay. Tap the excess off, and I'm using my Dollar Tree powder. Everybody knows I use that bitch for everything. Tap out the excess. Next, I'm going to be using the NYX Professional Makeup Micro Brow Pencil. So I'm going to start by lining the bottom and doing all that good jazz, and I'll be right back. Okay, y'all. So going back to what I just said, you're going to take your paper plate with your little string on it, and I'm going to show you just how I do it. So you're going to take your paper towel. I'm going to try my best to face you. You're going to put your string right on your eye. You're going to make a little loop, you see? And I'm going to put the paper towel on my eyelid and press it in. And I'm going to hold this string still the whole time. And I'm going to gently pull up. Should look something like that. Okay? You're just going to continue this all over. Now I'm gonna do the same thing to the other eye. Hey besties, this is Jasmine from 2 Days from the Future. So, my lazy ass decided not to finish this makeup look, but you know what? I'm going to follow those exact steps that I just showed you before this. And then we'll continue on, okay? Okay guys, so I finished the other eye. So now we have the problem up top where there's like a couple little purple marks, or down here. That's totally fine. You're gonna get a makeup wipe, which I already have one out because I was cleaning up some of the surface area. And I'm gonna go ahead and just clean up, since we don't have any base makeup on yet. Just gonna clean underneath your eye, and you're gonna end up with purple fingers and fingernails. It's okay. A little bit of fucking alcohol will never hurt anybody to get it off. So yeah, we're just gonna clean this bad bitch up, just like that. So ever since I could remember, a strong like connection to like spiritual stuff. When I was little, we used to live in this haunted house and all this BS or whatever, and like my dad told me all kinds of stories that happened, and you know, shout out dad, hey dad. Yeah, that's where it started for, I guess, when he told me the stories about that house, and I was like, oh wow, okay. But I'll let him tell you those stories if he chooses to tell you those stories. Maybe I'll make a video out of it. Who knows? Anyways, we're gonna dip back into this now messed up pan of purple, and I'm gonna take the little brush that I used earlier for the bottom, and I'm just gonna dip into it a little bit. Wait, that's a lot. And I'm gonna put purple on the lid, just lightly. Alright, so now both of my eyelids now have purple on it. And I'm gonna take my wipe, and I'm just gonna wipe away any fallout that I have underneath my eye right here. Just go up at an angle like that. See? Okay. Anyways, now we get to move on to the fun part. So anyways, let's go ahead and start off telling the story, shall we? I stayed at my mom's and my dad's house for like as long as I can remember or whatever. And my dad had this house. He worked like all the time. So like he was hardly home in the morning. So like it was just me and my sister and my brother. Sometimes my brothers together, but most likely it was just three of us. One day, my dad was outside cleaning the pool because we had a pool, and my sister was out there with him, but I didn't know that at the time. I'm in my room, and I'm drawing and coloring at his desk because his office slash our bedroom. Anyway, so I'm coloring at the desk, and I look over to my right, and here's the door, and here I'm sitting, and I'm sitting here coloring, yada yada yada, and the door knob starts turning, and like it's like wiggling, 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 and I'm like, okay, Desiree, which is my sister, this is her. Anyways, I was like, Desiree, quit playing with me, like, you know, it's not funny. And so the door is wiggling, 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 and then it opens, the doorknob twists, the door opens a little bit, and I see a hand reach on the side of the door. So here's the side of the door. A hand reach like this, and I was like, Desiree, quit playing. So I got up and I swung the door open, and she wasn't there. There was nobody there. I ran outside, and I'm like, Dad, like, was Desiree out here the whole time? I said, because she's over here messing with me, opening the door and trying to freak me out. And he goes, no, she's been out here with me the whole time. And she's like skimming the pool or vacuuming. I don't remember. And I was like, okay, well, I just saw my first ghost, like, legit at like 10 or 11, I think, when I saw that. I never really got a look at the ghost. All I saw was its hand. It was very small, and so I thought it was my sister. That's why. Also, I'm taking my highlighter and I'm just putting some in the inner corner of my eye. And then I'm taking a little bit and putting it under my eyebrow here on both sides. Anyways, so that was my first experience with a ghost at like 10, 11 years old. I had watched Ghost Hunters like prior and all this stuff, like when it was a thing. When you say thing, it's a thing. I don't know. Anyways, if he wants to tell it, he can tell it. But anyways, I always got a weird feeling about that house, even after he told me all the stuff that happened there and this and that. So anyways, fast forwarding, right? My mom is in a certain house, and then she moves out of that house and moves into the new house. Okay, so this new house is it's a condo. It's a condo. And it's got 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, a laundry room, and a living room, right? All the necessities. I'm gonna go in with my powder real quick. Anyway, so my mom, I don't know if she's heard these stories, which I'm pretty sure she has, but could be wrong. So I don't know. We'll find out. This was around the time I was going back and forth between my mom's house and my dad's house, and I would get an uneasy feeling in that house, but never like anything like horrible. When I was home alone, I'd hear noises, but I remember when we first moved in November of 2011 or 12, I think, is when we moved in there. I don't quite remember. It might have been 12. So my mom left me by myself at the house to put food away in the fridge that we got from the other house. Now, the old house that we used to live at is like literally minutes away. It's not even a block away from where we lived at that time. So, you know, she wasn't going to be gone very long. And I was like, all right, cool. And so I'm putting food away, and I finish that, and I go into the bathroom, in my mom's bathroom, because there's 2 bathrooms. And hers is in the far back of the house. And I'm putting shit away, whatever. And then I go back to the kitchen, and I don't remember what I was grabbing or what, or if I was looking for a box. But I heard her toilet flush. I go all the way back there, and sure enough, the toilet did flush. It was like fucking the water was rising, was making that hissing sound, like, or something like that, you know? And I was like, nope. And I think I told her, and I was like, Mom, like, your toilet flushed all by itself. And I was nowhere near it. And it's just me here. And I literally walked around the whole house, was like, didn't see anything. But I told her. I think I told her. She's like, it's all in your head, dude. And I was like, that was not in my head. Anyways, I'm going to go in with my blush in the shade Charm, and then the pointed brush, number 19, by Minaj. Just going to dip into my... Oh, shit. No, I can't. Never mind. What was I saying just now? Oh, anyways, I'm going with my Milk Makeup stick blush in the shade Work. And I'm just going to put some on my cheeks. Just like this. Anyways, on Snapchat, there used to be all those like weird filters, like when Snapchat was first cool, like, you know what I mean? Got the dog filter with a tongue that looks like this. Or you have the one with the mouth, the rainbow mouth that looks like this. Anyways, I used to go around my house with the filters open and, like, you know, be looking for stuff, because I'd seen online people would be doing it, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. And so I did it with the dog filter, I think it was, and I'll have to insert a clip, the video somewhere.
Georgina, stick your tongue out if I'm a good person. Well, fuck you too, bitch.
But it's of me calling out to it, and I was like, is there anybody here? And, like, it stops on nothing, and it's a face. And I was like, no. So I was like, calling her Georgina because she sounded like a girl to me, like she looked like a girl ghost, and I was like, your name is Georgina. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is that she kept popping up. No matter where I was in the house, she would pop up on that filter thing. I blend out my blush. You know, we going in the powder brush with the Charm number 19. Okay? Alright. Anyways, fast forward, I think like a year and a half or something like that. There was this thing called the Charlie Challenge. And I remember all the kids at my school were doing it. And by the way, I was in middle school around this time. But like people were doing this weird challenge and it's like summoning a demon or some shit, and I was like, no, I'm not about that shit. Anyways, I was tempted and I did it anyways with 2 pencils, and it didn't even work. Like, it literally did not work. I never got anything. It never moved, nothing. And so I was like, this is lame. Anyway, so my mom was like, can you keep an eye on this ground beef? And I was like, yeah. And I went in there, checked the ground beef, I was stirring it around, and then walked back to the room for not even 30 seconds. My mom comes back and she's like, you fucking burned the meat. And I was like, I didn't burn the meat. She's like, why is it on high? I'm like, I didn't touch it. I legit did not touch it. And still to this day, I don't know who the fuck touched that shit when nobody else was in the kitchen. So no. Anyways, fast forward another 3 or 4 years. Right? Does that make sense? Yeah. I was about 18. Yeah, I just turned 18, something like that. And obviously my husband, boyfriend at the time, came over and stuff, and he stayed and lived at my mom's house with me. I'm gonna sit underneath my eyes, y'all. But he came and stayed and lived with me for a few years at my mom's house. And one night, everybody was asleep. There was my mom, my brother, his girlfriend at the time, and my other brother, and obviously my mom and my husband and I. But everybody was asleep. And I'm minding my business, and I gotta go pee in the middle of the night, okay? And at this time, I had like really bad insomnia, so like I wouldn't sleep for shit. But yeah, so I got up to go pee, and I was walking in the hallway, and the laundry room is to my right as I'm walking through the hallway, and the bedroom's on the left. So the laundry room and my bedroom right across from each other. So I'm walking by, and I'm looking to my right, and I see somebody or something crouched in the corner behind the water heater, peering at me, and I was like, So I stopped and I backed into my room, and I woke my husband up, and I was like, hey, like, there's somebody in the laundry room. Whatever it was did not feel good. And so I woke him up, and I was like, can you go check? And he went and checked, and there was nothing there. And I was like, not about to have that shit. I remember talking to my sister-in-law the very next day, and I was like, hey, like, do you ever get off vibes from, like, the house or anything? And she's like, sometimes I do. And I'm like, the laundry room for some reason is, like, just really, really active and stuff. And she's like, I've seen something in there, like, a couple nights ago or something like that. And I was like, ain't no way. Ain't no way she saw that shit. And so did I, Anyways, I'm setting my face real quick. And then I'm going to pat it in. Anyways, so I had somebody to confirm that, like, oh, hey, like, yeah, girl, that actually, I've noticed it, My mom's heard pitter-patter throughout the hallways without her grandchildren being home. So that house was, like, kind of haunted, but fast forward another, like, 2 years? No, not 2 years. Like a year. Yeah, a year or so, right? No, about 2 years. I moved in to my husband and I's first place, and we lived next to this old man, and he was super rude, super mean, but that's another story for another day. I remember the first night we moved in, we had Taco Bell. My sister Desiree was there. Anyways, she had school the next day. I think it was a Sunday that we moved in or something like that, but she had school or something the next day, so she couldn't stay in the morning. So I was like, all right, whatever, it's fine. That morning, Brody took Desiree to school, left home alone. So I'm laying on the bed, and so the bed's like this. Oh, sorry. The bed's like this, and there's a little window right here, right above the bed, on the same wall. And then off to the side over here is the door that leads into the living room. And that door was open at the time. Okay? I was laying on my stomach, like sprawled out in the middle of the bed. I'm asleep. Like when I'm sleeping, I can like hear everything. It's weird. Anyway, so I'm asleep and I feel the bed shift and it moved. I got up so quick and whatever this was pushed the mattress off the box spring. And I legit went into the living room and I stayed in there all day. I called Brody right after it happened and I was telling him what happened, and he was like, oh, like, I'm sure it was just you sleeping or something like that. And I was like, dude, like, no, this actually happened. But yeah, so I told him and he just kind of brushed it off, and yeah, that's about it. So then I want to say about a month after we were living there or something like that. Also, I'm putting highlighter on in the shade Star Island by Ofra, my go-to. Anyway, so we were living there for about a month. I went to go take a shower. I think it was like 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And I was going to go take a quick shower. And he had already like been dozing off. And he went to sleep before I even got in the shower. And so there's 2 doors in my bathroom. So they connect 2 different rooms. So my bedroom, and there would be a bathroom right in the middle, right? Like this. And there would be my makeup room over here on this side. So there's 2 doors. This leads to my bedroom into the makeup room. I come from in the bedroom into the bathroom, and this door was always locked because I was afraid someone was gonna come in and get me. So this door was automatically locked. And I locked this door too, just in case. So I got in the shower and I'm washing my hair and I'm facing away from the door that leads into the bedroom. And I'm washing my hair and something punches the shower curtain. And I jumped and I swung the curtain open and the door was still locked. So it wasn't Brody. And I opened the door real quick and he was still asleep. Okay, so I had been getting a bad vibe ever since we moved into that place. And my sister did too. And like we would hear people shuffling across the carpet all the time. And I automatically think, okay, maybe it's our neighbor just like, walking around, whatever. Our walls were paper thin. It was bad. Brody, obviously, being the person he is, he did not believe me. I still think he didn't believe me fully until this happened. We were, I want to say, wrapping presents or something like that. And I asked him to go get me a thing of tape or a stapler or something. I don't quite remember. But I was like, can you go get me this? And he goes, yeah. So anyways, he goes and to the makeup room. And so he has to walk through the kitchen to get to the makeup room. And so he goes in there and he grabs it. And there's no TV playing, no nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. So I'm sitting there. I don't even have my phone, mind you. I don't have my phone, nothing. And he comes out there and he looks at me. He goes, were you talking to me just now? And I said, no, why? He goes, I swear to God, I heard somebody whispering in there to me, telling me to shh. I looked at him and I was like, you believe me now? And he was like, I never said I didn't believe you. I was like, okay, dude, okay. A whole bunch of other stuff, like stuff in the kitchen would shift, like. And I know every house, obviously, they're fucking, the structure and other shit, like creaks and all that. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'll fucking leave a cup sitting on the counter, right in the middle of the counter or something, and it'll fucking just fly off the fucking counter and onto the floor. Nobody's in that kitchen, no movement whatsoever, and it just flies off the fucking counter. No. No. Anyways, I'm glad we got the fuck up out of that house. Thank God. And now we're in our home. It's not bad at all. One day, my sister came over, I think like right after we moved in. She was walking into the living room and somebody pushed her from behind. And she was shook up about it, but she's okay now. And then my sister's also seen a like a darker skinned man, almost like a Mexican or an Indian with glasses in the hallway staring at her in the middle of the night, I guess. And she told me the next morning. So that's scary. I was like, okay. I just get a weird vibe. Just last week, my sister in law and I are sitting here in the living room having a conversation, and Brody and I have heard this multiple times. So I was just making sure that I wasn't the only one hearing it or being like, maybe I'm just overreacting. I have my headset on and I'm playing a game with my brother. And then she's sitting across from me on her phone and she's not listening to anything either. And Brody was asleep right there in the middle of us on the floor because I play games and he likes to be right there with me. Anyways, so she looks at me and I look at her, and we both hear my bed like creaking, like as if somebody's getting on and off the bed and like stirring in their sleep. There was nobody in the bed. And I understand beds creak and stuff, or like the springs bounce when nobody's on it, obviously. But when it's happening for consecutive minutes like that, there's nobody in there, give me an explanation, please. Anyway, so her and I look at each other and I was like, did you hear that? And she was like, nope. So yeah, there's been a couple of scary things that have happened to me, and I just thought I'd share. Um, but yeah, I'm not gonna do like mascara or anything because I ain't got nowhere to go. I like doing these kinds of videos where I just sit and talk to y'all. It's fun. I like getting to communicate with all of you guys. If y'all want to see stuff similar to this, my cousin, I got the idea from my cousin, and I'll put her little page here, and then I'll tag her in the description below so you guys can go and click on her page and watch her videos because they're so good. But anyways, yeah, if y'all want to see something similar to that, or if you guys want to see me talk about murder things or anything like that, like, I'm not trying to be Bailey Sarian and shit like that, but like, if you want to see me do kinds of stuff like that, I could totally do that. That's it for today. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.